is that there are clubs all across the land. There's these what I call shoeboxes in the attic.
Yeah.
There's these
Yeah.
shoeboxes in the attic full of photographs that haven't seen the light of day, let alone being digitized. And
Mm.
Striker Online is working to help clubs digitize this content, as well as interview the longest remaining founding members that exist.
Mm.
Now, this is incredibly important because there are clubs now going to celebrate their Home Farm is celebrating their 100-year anniversary, I think, in 2027, I think it is. There's clubs that I think Crumlin is celebrating their 50 years soon, or 60. I'm not too sure, but there's clubs all over the place celebrating significant milestones. And it's so easy now with the way technology works to produce the content, to interview some of the remaining founding members, the people involved that were involved, that have the
Mm.
longest memories, the oldest
Club
people.
men and women.
Yeah, club in. And get them on video, get them recorded, and have them overlaid as well. This is what I love, right? Because this is what technology allows you to do very easily. So when you digitize some of those photographs in the shoebox that are there, when you digitize some of them, you can bring what these guys are talking to life with photographs. And that content goes across all the platforms. It's written on articles. It's used on their social media. It's used in Striker. It's even used in some of our global partners who are looking for Irish content to give to their
Mm.
to their Irish diaspora. Like for example, we have a partnership with the Irish Post, which has 2.9 million followers, and so we're working towards creating deep-rooted Irish memorabilia and content that connects all these Irish diaspora to their clubs. And so part of that then, of course, when you're doing that profile, the beautiful thing about that is that not only are you bringing all these old photographs in, which bring life to the story of these oldest remaining members or founding members or club men, but you're also bringing in what the club is there now, which is the nurseries, the next generation. And
Mm.
that's where it connects. And, we keep talking at Striker Online, we keep talking about cradle to grave. Cradle to grave, grassroots sponsorship, grassroots football, grassroots community. And this cradle to grave is what football is now becoming. It's now becoming that. We work with the Amateur Football League, who operate a very, very successful over 35s league in Leinster. And they also, so I was just talking a lot with Linda Gorman and other people, and they play walking football. Walking
Mm.
football is now. I was at a thing there recently at an international competition here, held at the AUL, and there was an 85-year-old goalkeeper in there, and he
Yes.
was playing international
Love that.
football.
Love
And
that.
this is off the chart stuff. I mean, it's amazing to see. So football is now expanding in all directions, and all of this lends itself to a more sustainable future if we learn to immortalize the journey through content creation, and by doing that, bring our sponsors on board, because they will be delighted to be part of that journey, because it's a no-brainer, and in terms of marketing, it's a perfect fit for them.
Absolutely. Just one question before I head. Obviously the women's national team has done really well. We got to our first ever World Cup, and obviously we have the men's national team. We're going through a bit of a transition period there. Would there ever be an opportunity to bring in business athlete club in some sort of triangle? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people getting in touch with some of the players for the women's national team. I think Katie McCabe has done loads of stuff already, but maybe some of the other players. But like, let's say an Irish national team player from a certain town, and then she used to play for that club, and then the the whether it's My Solar or somebody else collaborating with all three, because I just think the exposure. I think anytime you see a famous person or somebody everybody idolizes, just skyrockets content into the next level.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. I mean, it's very important that whatever we do at the grassroots community has to be volunteer led, right? That's the first thing. Okay, so even at Striker Online, we're kind of volunteers, like myself and Eamon are basically volunteers. We're taking a huge risk. We don't see this as it's a passion, and there's lots of people like Breffney at Final Whistle, lots of people that are doing their best to stay above water, but are driven by the passion to do something to add value to the game. So the first thing is, it's very important that what we do is first and foremost with people with a vision. And not just about raising profile or being seen to do X, Y, and Z. So the problem with, let's say, working with certain people is that you're dealing with agents and all that. So we're not interested in going down like that. However, I do work quite closely with people who are passionate about the state of Irish football, or helping progress Irish football in whatever way they can. And one of those people is, when you mentioned the women's side of things, is Linda Gorman. And so, I've had some incredible conversations and got great advice from Linda Gorman regarding various initiatives that we're trying to do, like futsal, like the profile of ACL injuries, like just bringing in a female perspective into Striker Online. And we've got some really good ideas. We've got some really good initiatives that are coming from some of the advice that she's given us in terms of areas where she sees of paying importance. And she's a heavy hitter in terms of women's football. I'm talking about Linda Gorman, part of the 1973 team. And in fact, I was just talking to her recently, and we said Striker On, it would be lovely to build a brand, a TikTok brand, let's say, around the 1973 girls. I noticed something that was done by the 1975 Matildas. And I think that might be very interesting, because there's so much value that these ex-international players have. There's so much value. I'm not joking. I've had conversations with Linda Gorman for over 5 hours on football, and the experience and the stories and the way she talks about football is incredible. She won. She was one of the first to win. I think she won an All-Ireland, a boys team. She managed a boys team to win an All-Ireland at under 18. Incredible stories this woman has, and incredible benefit for people to hear more about how she thinks. She's done some really good kind of punditry. We'll call it punditry on off the ball, but she's she never misses a beat, and she's always making sure that she gets her statement across. And a great football analyst, But so I want to mention somebody actually that I've come across who I think you should look at, and he's in a different sport, but I think he's very interesting. Now, I may get his name wrong, but his name is I think it's Aidan Igiehon, and he is an Irish guy. Now, he's originally from Nigeria, I think. I might get exactly place wrong, right? I might have things wrong in details, but I first heard of him about 10 years ago. I read an article about this guy that got a chance to go to the States. He started out as a football player, I think, for Booth Road Celtic, I think, right? He started out as a football player, and then he just had this growth spurt. And his school teacher, one of the guys in school, said, "Listen, you should try basketball." And the guy then was brought over, started playing basketball, was a prodigy, brought over to the States, got a scholarship into one of these kind of like almost primary, secondary, high school things. Got into that. Then he was so good, he got another scholarship to a bigger one, a better high school, and now he's playing. I think he's playing college basketball now. But this is what I think is very interesting in what he's doing. He's got a TikTok channel, and I didn't see this coming, but he's developed an academy. Now he's only about, I'd say he's only about 20, 21, 22. I'm not too sure exactly what his age is, but he has developed an academy, and he's actually really driven to providing the kind of value. So in other words, this guy has gone and he's seen what's happened to him from the journey that he's gone. And instead of just doing things for himself and focusing on his own career or whatever, he has done at his age, he has decided to spread that word and try and bring kids over there to see the magic of basketball. I think it's unbelievable. I'm trying to get to interview him, but he's an example of somebody at the early stages of his basketball career doing something to help his basketball community.